Hi guys, I'm Caitlin, and this is my personality project. I am going to do it slightly out of order, just because I feel like it flows a little bit better that way. So, the purpose of personality is to give people a label personality, and it allows us to describe people to our friends or family. Funder's definition of personality is an individual's characteristics, patterns of thoughts, and behaviors. My personal definition is how someone acts in a certain situation and their characteristics, whether it be physically or mentally, and then their thought processes that define who a person is. Some major components are a hair color, whether they're an extrovert or introvert, if they can do math in their head, or if they're like me, where they have to write down the most simple math problem. It all is personality. So, some factors that contribute to personality are nature versus nurture. Whether you have siblings, what country you lived in, what part of that country you grew up in, how often you get in trouble, your social class. So if you're rich, you might be going to a better school, which will influence you to do better in class. Or if you go to a school where you get metal detected every day, you might be more inclined to go do drugs. Then also genetics play a role. So your genetics tell you how you look, whether you have a mental disability or not. And then your social setting and will play a role, which also goes with cultural norms. So your social setting, if I'm at work, I'm going to be more calm and focused, whereas if I'm at a dance party, I'm going to be dancing and yelling and being loud. And then if you're close to your family or not, I feel like plays a role in your personality. I'm kind of close. I'm 50-50 on closeness with my family. So when I'm home, I love being home, but when I'm away, I also enjoy being away, and that affects my personality too. So I believe in 4 different approaches, and I'm going to give an example of how it fits into my life as I go over the approach. So the first one is biological, which is the view of personality that focuses on the way behavior and personalities are influenced, and they're influenced by neuroanatomy, biochemistry, genetics, and evolution. So we have neurotransmitters in our brains, and we have a limbic system, which plays a huge role in our emotions. So the hippocampus, hypothalamus, thalamus, frontal lobe, it all plays a part in how we feel. Yeah, we can control kind of how we feel, but for the majority, it is based off of those neurotransmitters. So I suffer from anxiety and depression occasionally, or a lot, kind of, and I think this is biological based because I can't control my serotonin and dopamine levels. I try to be happy, and even days that I could have won the lottery and I could still have an anxiety attack or be depressed for no reason, and that I can't control that. So it's biological. And then cultural variation is another one. Life will be different no matter where you live. So Japanese focus on collectivism, and here we focus on individualism. This creates some of our personality. Growing up in an individualistic place, I focus more on what I can do to better myself, whereas if I grew up in Japan, I would ask, what can I do to help my neighbors? What can I do to help all of us succeed? So it's cool to know that some personality traits will overlap from country to country, and that's how we got the big 5. So collectiveness, openness, agreeableness. It's really cool though, because someone in Japan has similar described personality traits as me. And then growing up, we're taught what is normal and what is not. When you go to another country or even another state, you quickly realize that things are different. This is because we are taught what a cultural norm is and that we need to follow it. I personally want to be adventurous and back away from cultural norms, but it's hard because I worry about what other people think if I stray away from the cultural norm. The next approach is behaviorism, the theoretical view of personality that focuses on overt behavior and the ways in which it can be affected by rewards and punishments in the environment. So in short terms, you learn from the environment. So how parents and teachers will interact with you will teach you how you should act. Or when it comes to money, my parents wanted me to do what I wanted to do, but in order to do that, I had to pay for it. So to learn what was right, what was wrong or right, I had to pay for my bills, like car insurance or a phone bill. If I didn't pay for it, I didn't have a phone or car insurance. So it taught me to be responsible with my money, changed my behavior. It's an example of how my parents used the behavioral theory to teach me how to spend money, pretty much. And then object relations theory. So my mom would rub my back for me to fall asleep at night when I was younger. And now, whenever someone rubs my back, I fall asleep because that's what I associated it with when I was little, and I still carried that over. So it's when your parents or a teacher does one thing, and then it carries over when you're older and you still relate it to that section. So this is a lot of theories and approaches all combined in one. It's kind of what I feel should happen and how personality should be studied. It's kind of simple, I guess, in a way. And yeah, that is my project.